Did you miss me? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. I am the big guy. I am the one and only, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. There have been none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, I am the only one, Jake Covey, and welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got a great show. We are back to our normal production of Wrestling Made Simple. I had to take a break last week as I was still recovering from an amazing WrestleMania, but I am back. We got the news of the week, followed by your Raw and Smackdown reviews, and then we have the 5 cities that I believe could host WrestleMania 40, and the 5 cities that I believe won't host WrestleMania 40. We have a review of Backlash 2018, considered one of the worst pay-per-views of all time. And then we have your drink of the week, followed by a reading from the Book of Rules. And finally, we have bringing it back, the Battle Droid of the week. But let's get into your news this week. As huge news, Kishida has left WWE. Former Cruiserweight champion in NXT. He has, apparently they did not offer him a new deal. He has let his deal expire. Some people are saying it's budget cuts. Some people are saying it was creative differences. But either way, Kishida has left WWE. What a mistake by WWE. This guy is so much talent, it sucks. I didn't like the gimmick they saddled him with of this Back to the Future Marty McFly kind of thing. So I hope wherever he goes, they use his talents well. I imagine he'll probably go back to New Japan. I don't think he'll go to AEW. I think he's done with big American companies right now. I think he wants to go back to probably Japan and just work more back and getting into his own style. That's what I believe, so I imagine Kishida will go back to New Japan. That is my belief. And other news this week, has Brock Lesnar's return date been leaked? Apparently, he is set to return around the Money in the Bank Premium Live event for July 2nd in Las Vegas. That is his return date for internally in WWE. Of course, again, take everything with a grain of salt, but I imagine they don't want to keep Brock Lesnar off of TV too long. And also, in your final news story this week, has John Cena's return date been leaked? That's right, apparently John Cena is coming back to WWE to celebrate his 20th anniversary of his WWE TV debut. June 27th is the talk. He says he would love to come back. He understands now why The Rock couldn't come back whenever he wanted. But he wants to come back so badly and return to WWE. So this might be his return date. Again, take it with a grain of salt because we do not know what could happen. He could get signed on for a different movie. Anything could happen in the world of entertainment. So, again, I'd wait with a grain of salt. Now, it is time for a Smackdown review. All you guys don't know how much I've missed doing this podcast. Smackdown kicked off with the Raw Tag Team Champions RK Bro accepting the Usos Tag Team Challenge for a unification match, and it will take place at WrestleMania Backlash. And the Usos then, as they were talking, just started to beat the shit out of Riddle. Riddle tried to fight back, and it was made for a match later on in the night. After this, we got a match between Rhea Ripley and Naomi. Very good match. Apparently, it was actually originally supposed to be Sasha Banks, but plans changed as they wanted to keep Sasha Banks looking strong, and they wanted Rhea Ripley to pick up the win. So Rhea Ripley faces Naomi here and picks up the win. After this, we got a little backstage segment where it's revealed that former WWE Cruiserweight Champion Drew Gulak is now an announcer. He is now an interviewer, and he'll be conducting backstage interviews. I don't know if it's very real. I don't know what's going on. If it's just him being this backstage interviewer. I don't know what's going on, or if it's just a gimmick and he's going to go right back to wrestling. But if he is, I think it's a good place for him. I like him as he's great on the mic, and with the Cruiserweight scene dissolving in WWE since the cancellation of 205 Live, and the unification of the Cruiserweight title with the North American title, a lot of Cruiserweights are looking for stuff to do. So Drew Gulak as a backstage interviewer sounds great to me. After this, we got Madcap Moss versus Humberto. Madcap Moss was able to put Humberto away, really starting that push that he's supposed to get after WrestleMania for apparently he's supposed to be now becoming a top babyface on the Smackdown roster after separating from Happy Corbin. We'll need to wait and see, because last time he was supposed to separate from a tag team partner, which was, I'm trying to remember, it was Mojo Rawley. Yeah, it was Mojo Rawley. He was trying to separate from him, but unfortunately he would tear, I think it was his rotator cuff, and would be off TV for a long time. So hopefully that doesn't happen this time. Hopefully he is able to stay healthy and have a good little push here. After this, we had Drew Gulak trying to interview Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair then belittled Gulak, saying he's an idiot, he doesn't know what he's doing, he's just trying to get his 5 seconds of fame off the Queen. And then she attacked him, hit him with natural selection, and made him tap out to say, "I quit," after he upset her, to build more towards the Ronda Rousey Charlotte Flair "I Quit" match at WrestleMania Backlash. After this, we got a Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn match where Sami Zayn did not want a piece of Drew McIntyre. He just simply rolled out of the ring, ran away, and it was announced that next week Sami Zayn will have nowhere to run, as he will face Drew McIntyre in a lumberjack match. So I think that could be a good match. These two are actually very talented in the ring, and I would love to see what they could do together with just nowhere to run, just let them fight. I'd love to see that. We then got an Intercontinental Championship match where Ricochet was able to defend his title over Jinder Mahal. Very good job by Ricochet here. Great job by Jinder Mahal. Made me actually really enjoy this match. Ricochet picks up the win over Jinder Mahal. After this, we got another backstage segment with Butch. Sheamus and Rich Holland have announced they've lost Butch. They can't find Butch. Where is he? Well, they look around a little backstage and they found out he's attacking Xavier Woods and had to be pulled away. I hate this gimmick for Pete Dunne, man. He deserves so much better. After this, we got Natalya welcoming Raquel Rodriguez, for those of you who don't know, Raquel Gonzalez, to the main roster and SmackDown's roster. And it was a very shaky handshake, if you get what I mean. It was one of those handshakes, I don't trust it. I don't trust it as far as I could throw that handshake. And then we got Lacey Evans doing a return promo. She's telling her story of how she's back and she's so excited to be back on SmackDown. And how she's going to basically retake over the women's division. So, Shout out to Lacey Evans. Welcome back. After this, we got your main event, ladies and gentlemen. Raw Tag Team Champion Riddle versus SmackDown Tag Team Champion Jimmy Uso. It looked like Jimmy Uso was going to pick up the win after Randy Orton was distracted on the outside by Jay, but he slams Jay into a table, which distracts Jimmy Uso for going for the splash. And as he goes for the splash, Riddle hits an RKO from out of nowhere. Beautiful RKO. 1, 2, 3. Riddle picks up the win. Great job by them, man. I didn't like Riddle till after WrestleMania 37. I gotta admit that I never got his gimmick. I never got what he was supposed to be. But ever since he's teamed up with Randy Orton, I'm loving this, man. Bravo. Bravo to Riddle. Bravo to Randy Orton. They have created something here. And I'm really enjoying it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw kicked off with Cody Rhodes coming face to face with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins saying he only beat him at WrestleMania because he didn't know his opponent. Cody then said, that's fine. I could be anyone too. And Seth Rollins then said, I'll pick an opponent for you tonight in the main event. And whoever it is, I guarantee you won't beat him. Cody Rhodes guaranteed a victory. And that was that segment. After this, we got the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Live for Brutality. It was a quick match. It was more about what happened after a match. Sasha Banks hits Liv Morgan with a backstabber. Naomi is able to pin Rhea Ripley as Liv Morgan tries to come in the ring and console her tag team partner. Rhea Ripley turns heel and attacks Liv Morgan. Rhea Ripley is now a heel, and I told you guys she's going to join Ninja Stable. People pointed out on Twitter, I saw it as well, of when Rhea Ripley was walking backstage after this segment, you saw purple lights behind her. It's very clear to me she's going to be in Edge's stable. She loves Edge. Edge is apparently one of her big-time heroes in the ring, so no question she's joining Edge's stable. So, it's over for Live for Brutality. There are now only 2 tag teams left in the women's division of the champions and Natty and Shayna Baszler. Those are the official 2 tag teams left in the women's division on the main roster. Good job, WWE. Good job. After this, we got Bianca Belair versus Sonya Deville coming face-to-face for the first time since their match was announced official. They will have their match next week on Raw in Tennessee. I thought they would save it for Backlash, but that was just me. Rhea Ripley then, you had Bianca Belair try to hit the KOD on Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville told her to put her down, otherwise there'd be huge fines, suspensions, relinquishing the title. So she put Sonya Deville down and went to pay her a fine of $1, which I thought was hilarious. Bravo to them, that was hilarious. After this, we got Veer Mahan versus a random jobber from Buffalo, Jeff Brooks. Very easy win. He locks in his submission. I don't remember the name of it right now. I'm sure I'll learn the name of it going forward. But he locks in 3 times on the guy till they basically had to pull him off. It's all about causing pain for Veer. After this, we had the KO show, where Ezekiel was asked if he is Elias's brother under lie detector test. This was a no thing segment. Chad Gable was given the test, and Ezekiel wasn't lying. He's Elias's younger brother, apparently. Because when has a lie detector test gone the right way for anyone? Just saying. After this, we got a match between Ezekiel and Chad Gable that ended in DQ after Otis attacked Ezekiel when Ezekiel looked like he had the match won. We then got the Street Profits versus the Raw Tag Team Champions RK Bro. As RK Bro was about to win the match, you had Montez Ford signaling for the Usos to come down. The Usos music hits, but there's no Usos. It's a trick by Montez Ford. The Street Profits pick up the win, and it ends up, I guess the Street Profits are heels? I don't know. After this, we got Edge challenging AJ Styles to a match at Backlash in a backstage segment. AJ Styles accepted in his own backstage segment, and then the lights started flickering, and Edge and Damian Priest appeared and beat the shit out of AJ Styles. Kind of cool. I like the gimmick they're giving Edge. It's like he's back in the Brood. But at the same time, I'm wondering, okay, is this just because they're going to turn Alexa Bliss back into the goddess, apparently? And they need a supernatural gimmick. I don't know. After this, we got the match of the night, in my opinion, a United States Championship match between the champion Finn Balor and Theory. Both performed their asses off. Shout out to them. Great match. Theory ends up picking up the win. We have a new United States champion in Theory. Bravo to him. Theory is your new United States champion. Vince McMahon then came out and celebrated with Theory. All the heels came out and celebrated with Theory. It was kind of a cool thing to see because you never really get the heels celebrating in the ring with everyone. You always get the baby faces come out and celebrate, but you never get the heels. So I thought this was different and it was cool. We then got the 24/7 championship commitment ceremony. If you're looking for something fun to go watch just for a laugh, go watch this. It was awesome. Even Bubba Ray Dudley gave it its praise until the crowd decided to what it to death. I love chants. I love the crowd being involved in WWE. That's one of my favorite things. It's one of the only sports where the crowd really is truly involved. But this what chant needs to die. It needs to go away. Damn you, Stone Cold. You've done so many amazing things. But this what chant needs to die. After we got them all actually kissing, they actually all were officially married. Akira Tozawa married Tamina, and Dana Brooke married Reggie. We had Reggie pin Dana Brooke, and then Tamina pinned Reggie for a 24/7 championship. Then Tozawa pinned his own bride, and then after that, you had Dana Brooke retain her title and pin Akira. She then jumped on R-Truth's back like Carmella used to, and they left, and that was it. Good segment. Funny. It was funny as hell. Say what you want about the 24/7 championship, man, but would these guys be on TV without it? They would have probably been released at Black Tuesday, and we would have heard and we would have just been sitting there going, I get it. It sucks. But it's smart. I'm always happy that these guys are back in because of these segments. R-Truth never going to be released. But Akira, Tamina, Dana Brooke, Reggie, I would have seen them all been released if it wasn't for this title. So you know what? They're all getting TV time. This is making you laugh. It's making you smile. So to those who really do hate the 24/7 championship, fuck you. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. It makes me smile. After this, in your main event of Raw, we got Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, mystery opponent. He says he's someone who never lies, and that was your hint. It was Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens comes out, and him and Cody Rhodes are having a great match, doing everything they can until KO gets knocked to the outside. And Seth Rollins says, get your fat ass up. Get your ass up and get back in there. This infuriated KO to no end. And KO said, it's your problem, dude. This is your match. And left. He left Seth Rollins because he called him fat. Oh, where's Scott Steiner when you need him? Cody Rhodes then wins via countout, which is not how I wanted to see his main event end. That left a sour taste in my mouth. That's why he's not matching the night, in my opinion. Cody went up to the top ropes to celebrate, but Seth pushed him out of the ring, apparently hurting his back. Cody sold it, and we will need to see if that is what that is on next week's Raw. And that is your Raw review and your SmackDown review, ladies and gentlemen. Raw was way better than SmackDown this week, in my opinion. But there's still a lot left to be desired. Don't get me wrong, Raw has been great since WrestleMania. It's truly been fun. But there is still a lot lacking, in my opinion. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to decide which city will get WrestleMania, in my opinion. First, let's start off with a no. A city that I don't think will get WrestleMania, and that is Jacksonville. I don't see Jacksonville getting WrestleMania for one reason, and that is the cons. It's because of AEW. If AEW wasn't there, and don't get me wrong, if Vince McMahon wanted to host WrestleMania there, that would be a fuck you move of the century. To say, hey, you guys got your own promotion, but I'm in your home stadium. I'm here. I can run this shit without you. But I don't see him doing it. I think he is just going to say fuck Jacksonville for a long time before he ever hosts a WrestleMania there. And a yes for me, a city that I could easily see hosting WrestleMania 40, Minnesota. I could easily see Minnesota hosting it in Minneapolis. They have an amazing stadium for the Vikings. They have an unbelievable arena for not just hockey, but for basketball, where the Timberwolves play. It's got unbelievable hotels. It has hosted a Super Bowl. I could easily see Minneapolis hosting WrestleMania 40. And now a place where I see no not hosting WrestleMania 40 is Milwaukee, Green Bay. The problem is, it's just too cold. April, it would be freezing. It would not be a good host. It's too far north. See, when I said Minnesota, it's because it's closed. Green Bay is open. There is no way they'd be able to host it. The fans would be freezing. And also, they're bleachers. The fans need seats. There is no way they would go without seats. And don't get me wrong, Lambeau is historic, and it will always be one of the best places you could go watch a football game. Even as a Vikings and Jets fan, I'm saying that. I know I might be a little biased now, but it is what it is. The bleachers will never change, but it's just what it is. You can't do it. Now, a place that might host WrestleMania 40, Miami. They've had it with WrestleMania 28. They could easily host it in Hard Rock Stadium and have it at the American Airlines Arena for Monday Night Raw, NXT, SmackDown, and the Hall of Fame. Easily could do it. Miami has hosted it with WrestleMania 28, and they have since made amazing upgrades to the stadium. It would be a whole new experience for those who were already there, and it would be a great new experience for those who haven't been to WrestleMania in Miami. And maybe The Rock would make an appearance. Now, a city that won't host WrestleMania 40, in my opinion, and I know I'm going to get backlash for it, and it sucks, because I want to see them do it, but the time zones are too different, and it sucks that it won't happen in London. I would love to see London host one, maybe in Wembley, maybe somewhere. They have the ability to do that, but the time zones are just too different, and the fans wouldn't be able to enjoy it. So, unfortunately, London is a no for me. but one that could be a yes for me. Phoenix. I can see Phoenix hosting her WrestleMania. I could easily see him hosting WrestleMania 40. Phoenix was a great host for WrestleMania 26, and they have apparently been wanting to go back there for a little. Phoenix is a four-sport town. They have all these arenas. They have the perfect ability to do it. And you know, with the Suns being great and the Cardinals being where they are right now, the sports time is there to do it for them. So, I could easily see Phoenix hosting a WrestleMania. And now for another no. Unfortunately, Dallas. Dallas just hosted WrestleMania 38, and that is the only reason that I can think why they wouldn't do Dallas for WrestleMania 40. They could, but I don't see them doing it. And now here's a yes for me. WrestleMania 40 could happen in Madison Square Garden for one last time. I know it's a smaller arena. Don't get me wrong, I know that. But the Garden's the Garden. It will always be Mecca for wrestling. It always will. I make wrestling simple. It's simple. WrestleMania could happen in the Garden. WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 10, WrestleMania 20. It's got the history. That's the only reason why I can see the NYC hosting it. Only reason. And unfortunately, a no for me. I know a couple of my buddies are going to get mad. I'm sorry, boys. Cleveland. And it's the same reason I said no to Milwaukee and Green Bay. It is not a dome. If it was a dome, I would completely agree. I'm not going with that there's some problems in Cleveland. Lord knows there are, and I'm a Guardians fan. I would love to go to Cleveland and see a Guardians game, walk around, just experience Cleveland. I would love to see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, man. But unfortunately, it won't happen for WrestleMania because it is too cold for the stadium coming off of the river. It just wouldn't work. Maybe in the future if they change it to a dome, but I doubt they will. And finally, this is apparently number one running backstage. This has been the one that is going around, that Dave Meltzer even said that there will probably be the host of WrestleMania 40. Vegas. Vegas is apparently supposed to be the host. And you know what? I would love to see that. They have an amazing stadium. I've been in it. I saw the Rolling Stones perform there. If you stay at Mandalay Bay, you're right across the street. All you need to do is take a bridge right to the stadium. And you know what? It would be perfect. Because Mandalay is also right there next to the arena. They have the stadium right there. It would take public transit. Uber would be easy. There's no shortages of Uber or anything around that stadium. So, bravo. I would say Vegas is definitely the number one contender for WrestleMania 40. Time for a classic pay-per-view review. Coming from New Jersey in the Prudential Center, my home state. Backlash 2018. The first dual-branded pay-per-view since the brand split. This is famous for all the wrong reasons. And it sucks because it had two great kickoff matches. Ruby Riott with the Riott Squad versus defeating Bayley by pinfall in a 10-minute match, which was awesome on the kickoff. And then you had Seth Rollins take on The Miz in a WWE Intercontinental Championship match, which was awesome. A 20-minute classic, in my opinion. And then you had the Raw Women's Championship. Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. Apparently Nia Jax would injure Alexa Bliss during this match. I believe Alexa would get a concussion. which would start her role of being out and injured for a long time because of Nia Jax. I believe that is true. I'm not throwing shade on anyone. Injuries happen, but it takes away from this match so much. 10 minutes ain't that good, and this would start the decline of the night. You would then get Jeff Hardy defending his United States Championship against Randy Orton, a forgotten United States Champion in my opinion, Jeff Hardy, a forgotten United States Champion in Randy Orton. Jeff Hardy would win it from Jinder Mahal, who would win it from Randy Orton at WrestleMania. And these two would go on to have amazing matches, but for some reason that night just wouldn't click. Jeff Hardy picks up to win in another 12-minute match that just didn't fit, in my opinion. Oof. And then we got this one. Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. Big Cass would return from injury and would immediately set his sights on the newly returning as well, Daniel Bryan. Big Cass was supposed to be this guy. He was supposed to be the one to really be the next big guy, be the one who might dethrone Brock Lesnar, and I thought he could do it. I thought he could be a WWE champion, Universal champion. I thought he could. Until this match. He just wasn't ready, man. He was so ring rusted. Apparently at the time he was going through alcohol problems, which sucks. I hope he has apparently been in recovery. He is better now, which is so thankful to hear. I'm such a big Cass and Enzo fan. They are the ones who got me into wrestling. So, I'm glad he's gotten better, but this match was just terrible. Daniel Bryan would pick up the win over Big Cass, and the less said about this match, the better. After this, we got Carmella defending her SmackDown Women's Champion. Did you forget she was SmackDown Women's Champion? I know I did. Versus Charlotte Flair. She successfully defended it against Charlotte Flair. And would then successfully defend it against Asuka. Oh my god, this reign was everything terrible about the SmackDown Women's Championship picture at that time. Don't get me wrong, Carmella, amazing performer. It just shouldn't have happened. Not yet. She needed more work, in my opinion. Another match to really forget it. And now we move on to the WWE Championship match. A no disqualifications match. I want you to remember that. AJ Styles, the champion, versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke, a newly formed heel. He had turned heel at WrestleMania after low-blowing AJ Styles after the match. He wouldn't turn face until WrestleMania 37, basically. Was it WrestleMania 37? Basically, after WrestleMania 37, we want to see a face Shinsuke for a while. But now, it would just be basically Dick Kick City. Both of them going for low blow after low blow after low blow. There was no essence to this match. It was a 21 minute low blow fest. And that was it. Nothing really of magnitude in this match. Nothing that I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. Between two guys who should tear the house down. It was a match that shouldn't have happened. 21 minutes ends in a draw. A no DQ match ends in a draw. What the fuck? After this, we get it was actually an okay match. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman. Two powerhouses versus two technical wrestlers. Very good 8-minute match. I felt like they should have got more time for this match, but Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman. Bobby Lashley's first real match back in WWE. Unfortunately, what it would lead to brings this match down, as it would lead to a terrible Money in the Bank program between Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley, where Sami Zayn would end up getting injured and having to basically take a year away from the ring. And your main event, Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. Roman Reigns was right at the fever pitch of being forced down everyone's throats at this time. He was not good at this time. It was not a good face run for Roman Reigns. He had just been one of the worst WrestleMania main events ever against Brock Lesnar in WrestleMania 34. One of the worst matches of their trilogy. And Samoa Joe returning. They want him to return as a babyface. He returns as a heel, sets his sights on Roman Reigns. This had fans going to the exits early. I don't know, these two just didn't do well. It would lead to a face turn for Samoa Joe later on after Roman Reigns was attacked by a heel Daniel Bryan. So that would lead to a face turn, which was cool. But it was just awful. Fans would be chanting for Enzo Amore during this match. That just goes to show you how bad it was, how boring it was. CM Punk, Enzo, every chant that could be in the books because AEW wasn't a thing yet, it was happening. Backlash 2018 is one of the worst pay-per-views ever. People will attest to that. Always will be. So, I think we need a strong drink to forget about life for a while. So I'm going with the classic that has been made into a graveyard, which started off as a soda, is now an alcoholic drink. You won't wait 30 minutes between each sip for this, because this is a strong-ass drink. 1 ounce vodka, 1 ounce rum, 1 ounce gin, 1 ounce tequila, 1 ounce triple sec, 1 ounce whiskey, 1 ounce scotch. Pour that all in, stir it very nicely, and then top it with a lager beer stout. Stir once again, and you have a graveyard. This is a Black Death drink right here, ladies and gentlemen. If you aren't drink responsibly. Have one of these at most. Do not drink and drive. Do not drink if you are under 21 in the United States. God, that drink will kill you. That drink will kill you. And now we're reading from the Book of Rules. A finishing maneuver should have an awesome, memorable name, such as the Sweet Chin Music. A reading from the Book of Rules. And now, finally, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the return of the ultimate Battle Droid of the Week. This should come as no surprise to anyone who I've decided to name for this week. Dude, you are managing the second best wrestling promotion in the world. You just lost your EVP. It's time to slow down. Take a few seconds. Be like, okay, this is what I need to do to keep this company on the right track. It's going to take a lot of work. And if you don't do the right thing, you're going to lose people to WWE. Create your own narrative, Impact. Everyone's going to start saying, okay, it's clear this guy isn't right. Time to leave. Tony Khan. I don't know what you were thinking with saying WWE is paying bots to call out your program saying it's not good. I've called you out many a time. I don't think I'm a robot. I can easily get onto websites with those robot tests of 01010101001. But there's Tony, that was so idiotic by you to call this out. Even if it's true. You know what you do? You keep it to yourself. You don't say a word about it. You just secretly in the back of your head saying, yeah, I know that people are calling me out, but how many of them are real? In the back of your head, you keep that in. You're just like, oh, yeah, okay. They may be calling me out, but I think I'm doing the right thing. That's all you need to do. And then you call out wrestlers for debuts. You say they're not wrestling good enough. I'm waiting for him to call out Cody Rhodes. If he calls out Cody Rhodes, it's over. AEW's dead in the water. I'm looking at the way they're refusing to turn Sammy Guevara and Tay into heels. If they do, it's smart. If not, they are refusing to change, and they are going to lose all their fans once again. And you know what? They could bring back CM Punk. They could bring back Sting. Everyone will leave. And I think Jon Moxley would even say, okay, these guys are just as bad as WWE. At least at WWE, I'm getting paid more. It sucks. It really does. I want you to be better. I want you to be better than you are, Tony. But for right now, you are the Battle Droid of the Week. Congratulations.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. I am glad to be back. I am the big guy. It's been awesome being back here to do some great commentary for you on Wrestling Made Simple. I hope to be back better than ever, and I'll continue to try and re-hone my skills and continue to make you guys smile. Have a great day. Again, I've been the big guy. Enjoy wrestling this week.